Well, I will kick us off by saying good morning to everyone and thank you. Coming into this year, we knew there would be challenges ahead, but we remained committed to develop a budget that meets our collective needs of our diverse community and underscores our values. The Montgomery County Council's budget process for fiscal year 2026 was inclusive, transparent, and collaborative. And this council delivered for our residents and businesses. As council president, one of my top priorities was increasing transparency and participation for all community members. I want to thank everyone who came and testified, who wrote to us, joined us for committee meetings, and worked late into the night to prepare for our budget discussions. I'm very proud to say we didn't turn anyone away from any public hearing, and we listened to the views of over 300 residents during our budget hearing, reviewed thousands of emails, and met with numerous groups. This was a difficult budget. Simply put, the multiplicity of needs in our community are growing, and the decisions we had to make were tough. This has been exacerbated by the chaos at the federal level. Not even 5 months into the Trump presidency, Montgomery County and the state of Maryland and the entire region are facing the most uncertainty we've seen in decades. Federal cuts are and will touch all our lives and impact every public service that our residents rely on. Not to mention the thousands of federal employees and contractors living or working in the county who have been laid off or fired. But here in Montgomery County, we continue to live by our values of being a welcoming and inclusive community with a thriving economy, with the best education system to prepare our young people and families for the future. And our FY26 budget reflects that. We worked with our public school system to make sure MCPS receives 99.8% of their budget request, and we laid the foundation for future collaboration and partnership to make sure we meet the needs of our students and families, as well as the needs of our educators and school staff. We provided increased funding for our public safety departments and expanded the successful Joan as First Responder program to Germantown. We also increased funding for the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security to provide continuity in emergency planning, training, and outreach, despite reductions and eliminations of federal grant funding. We also allocated $1.2 million for the Nonprofit Security Grant Program to protect our nonprofit and faith organizations and houses of worship. We prioritize resources for our social safety net programs. We are seeing an increase in needs in our community for food, housing, mental health services, and other basic needs. And we expect this trend, unfortunately, to continue for the next few years. And this budget lays the foundation for us to meet these challenges. The council approved nearly $14 million for the Office of Food Systems Resilience to provide critical food resources. Just this week, we learned that the Montgomery County's unhoused population has increased 32% over the last year. To combat these rising rates, we allocated $62 million for services to end and prevent homelessness, and over $200 million in services to support children, youth and families, older adults, and people with disabilities. And I'm very proud to say we increased funding to $66 million for behavioral health and crisis services, promoting mental health services, treatment and recovery services, and culturally competent care for people of all ages with behavioral health needs. Investing in mental health is not just about treating illness. It promotes a holistic approach to well-being, enabling individuals to thrive emotionally, socially, and physically. And as somebody who has worked in the field of reproductive and sexual health, I'm incredibly proud of our public health department in stepping in and filling the void as we see more and more cuts from the federal government. We are also investing in housing, transportation, and economic development so that we are not only meeting the needs of our residents today, but also planning for the future. We continued and increased funding for affordable housing assistance, recognizing the role that safe and affordable housing has as a social determinant of health. We increased rental assistance as well as funding to finance, construct, and preserve affordable housing in the county. And as we face uncertain economic times ahead, the council approved economic development initiatives focused on job creation and business development, including funding for WorkSource Montgomery, which is standing up a specialized office to assist federal workers now looking for jobs. We also made ongoing investments in the Institute for Health Computing, which is creating jobs in AI and machine learning innovation. And we are making Ride-On free for all residents. In alignment with our, yes, that's a good one. In alignment with our transit equity and climate goals and to encourage ridership growth. We also rejected proposed cuts for our parks, one of the most valued and defining assets of our community. And we partially restored money to the Green Bank to ensure we continue our work on climate change. And as chair of the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee, I am particularly glad that we crafted this budget so that we are having reserves at approximately 11.2%. And we did all this without raising taxes this year. We accomplished all of these goals by coming together with residents, our nonprofit partners, union members, our department staff, and agency heads to discuss and make tough choices. Producing a budget of this scale under the strain of state and federal cuts and economic uncertainty requires diligence, careful review, and collaboration, and a lot of chocolate and coffee. So, and I just want to say to my colleagues, each and every one of you here, thank you for moving with great care, attentiveness, and accountability to best support our diverse community. We made difficult compromises and came together to balance our priorities and keep our residents at the forefront of every decision that we made. Specifically to my team, my Chief of Staff, Cecily Thon, Paul B. Ellis, Diana Carrillo, Kieran Kosher-McCabe, Deborah Getachew, and Andrew Gelman, thank you for your ongoing support and service to the residents of Montgomery County. Thank you to our entire Council Central staff and staff in my colleagues' offices for your meticulous and thoughtful work throughout the budget process and throughout the entire year. Your amazing work is the engine that keeps us moving forward. And I also just want to do a specific shout out to our analysts for whom this was their first budget going through it, and just say thank you for an amazing job that you did through your first budget this year. Yes, it was really good. I mean, those of you who have been around for a while did a good job too, but and that leads me to, in particular, I want to congratulate and express my deepest gratitude to our Executive Director, Craig Howard. While Craig has played an instrumental role, While Craig has played an instrumental role in putting together county budgets over many, many years, this was his first year doing so as the Executive Director, and he did it seamlessly. Thank you. And we have two new Deputy Directors. Sandra Marin, thank you for keeping council operations running smoothly, and Gene Smith for his leadership and expertise in managing all the moving parts of the budget to help us move this forward this year. And thank you to all the hardworking and detailed-oriented legislative analysts, Chief Legislative Attorney Christine Wellens, and our entire legal team. Thank you to our clerk, Sarah Tannenbaum, and her team who kept our agenda and meetings organized and well run. Thank you to our legislative information team led by Jill Gable, who facilitated opportunities for residents to testify at public hearings. All those over 300 people we had here, Jill helped get here and make sure everything ran smoothly. So thank you to Jill. Thank you to our PIOs, Sonia Healy, and the entire information office, broadcast team, IT, and multicultural community outreach team for your support through the budget process. As Councilmember Mink remarked the other day, we are now able to do public testimony in Vietnamese as well as other multiple languages, and we're just going to keep on with that work. This is truly a team effort, and it is a great honor and privilege to work with each and every one of you. I am proud the way that this council has come together to plan for the challenges ahead as we budget for today and tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for their contributions.